I'm Ross Hudgens, founder of Siege Media, and today I want to show you how to promote your blog to 1 million visits. If you randomly come across this video, maybe it's through Google search, through YouTube search, or your friends sharing it, you might wonder, who is this Ross guy? Who is Siege Media? Why should I trust them and their expertise to give me the guidebook to get 1 million visits per year? Well, in fact, our team of around 40 as of this moment, in the last year, we created content that, as of this second, has projected 15 million additional visits added on to what our clients did in the year previous. So given that, what you know about of the many screenshots we just showed you of what we've made in terms of impact, there is a general guidebook that informs all of those. So you see a lot of these posts if you're doing a search for how to promote your blog. How do you promote your blog in a million different ways? And yes, there's different little rubrics to get a bit of traffic here and a bit of traffic there. But the reality is there is a general framework that works more consistently, and that beautiful framework is search. It's SEO, it's content marketing. And to do that consistently, there are some commonalities that you can leverage over and over again to hit those massive numbers. It's not by doing these random one-off promotional things that actually gets you that leverage. It is the rubric that does that. So the first step in that rubric to build 1 million visits per year is actually to start with low difficulty, high link intent topics, and then leverage up from there. And when you do that, also make sure you're leveraging topics with search volume over 1,000. So what I mean by this is you do a search for, say, best infographics using SEMrush or Ahrefs or tools like that, and you get different metrics for the total search volume and also the topic size. And that, leveraging a lot of those different topics and building a keyword universe for your business, you'll have the ability to kind of pick one, pick the next one after that, and eventually ladder up to a huge keyword base, a huge search volume base that enables that massive growth that we saw in those previous screenshots. And how you do that is you actually start with lower difficulty topics and high link intent topics first. So there are tools like Moz's keyword difficulty tool, SEMrush has a keyword difficulty tool, Ahrefs. Your tool of choice can all aggregate data and quantify what makes a keyword difficult. So as a new business, say you haven't done this, you're wondering how to get to 1 million visits, you probably don't know what that metric is for you. So you want to start with the topics that have high search intent and also low difficulty at the same time, because that'll enable you to get the traffic and also the links over and over again, especially to start, in order to ladder up to the more difficult ones. So we've actually going to attach what I would call a KOB spreadsheet, an idea topic research spreadsheet that you're welcome to use that we built for ourselves at Siege Media. It's getting kind of old now, but the general framework of it is still very relevant. And you can see the process we used in the spreadsheet to give you difficulty, to give you opportunity size. And there's also traffic value metrics in there as well that say, yes, I can monetize this and not just get useless million visits, I can get valuable million visits from this process. So when you start that process and see, hey, it's low difficulty, it's high opportunity, and there are links to those concepts by looking at Moz, by pulling up those searches and seeing, are the top 3, do they have 20 plus links each? If you start with those topics and you promote them and you do a great job on them, and you ladder up to the more difficult ones, that's how you get to the process of building that kind of search traffic. And the second tip of building this kind of traffic base is actually to pick a promotion strategy every time out. So as a content marketing agency, we're frequently doing cold outreach, but for every new business without a strategy, to me, the real 3 tenets to leverage every single time as a business from a distribution perspective and to always have them is 1, search. So you can promote your blog without doing search in order to get more search traffic. Obviously, that's number 1 that we talked about in step 1. The 2 is mentioned outreach. And what I mean by mentioned outreach is, say you did the 50 best SEO tools, you would then reach out to all 50 of those tool providers, and there's a strong probability they would either share that content or link to it. That's essentially ego bait. And the final is cold outreach. And cold outreach is that valuable process of generating links that can generate search traffic and, of course, distribution as well. So those 3 things combined should always be behind every single piece of content you put out. If you have that distribution strategy, which is often the problem for those blogs that die out, they just say, I'm going to publish and hopefully people will love this, but I won't actually have any kind of thought process about how to distribute it. other than sharing through social networks that don't have any following at all. Naturally, those blogs die by the wayside and no one ever gets the momentum that they really want. So use those 3 core things when thinking about distribution for any post you have, and you'll be well on your way to 1 million visits. Next step in this process to get that big number is to actually leverage the Sharable Skyscraper technique. So if you've followed these videos at all, or you followed SEO at all, you're probably aware of the Skyscraper technique by Brian Dean and Backlinko. Really smart guy. Essentially, the functionality of that is to build something that's better than anything else that's out there and do that time and time again for each keyword. Where I would add to that, and especially as it ties into cold outreach, is to build a shareable asset in every post you build. That can be an infographic sometimes. Sometimes that can be medium to long images. Maybe it's some embeddable video. Maybe it's embeddable GIF. All of those things can, in whole, be shareable in some way for every single post. And it's that linkability that will enable you to get the leverage from a domain authority perspective to eventually ladder up to those higher difficulty topics. So make sure from that thought process, if I was doing a blog strategy, I'd be using one of those 3 distribution strategies. I'd make sure to ladder up from lower to higher difficulty terms, and I would always have shareable assets anytime I'm going to promote a piece of content that I think has a market out there. And finally, in this whole holistic process, is to slowly level up. Obviously, we've talked about getting links, doing outreach, getting to more and more difficult terms. Once you've started ranking for some of those lower difficulty ones in the KOB research spreadsheet, now it's your time to take a swing at content marketing as a term. Maybe it's your time to take a swing at how to increase website traffic, which is probably more competitive as a term. And those things holistically will eventually get you to the point where you are now able to create anything, and as long as it's good enough, you'll rank. And that's that kind of process that done time and time again will get you to 1 million visits. So hopefully this will get you on the path to doing that yourself. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let us know what you thought. Thanks for watching.